Good morning. Good morning and good morning, sunshines. How's everybody? It's Saturday. What y'all drinking today? I got some tea, some good hot tea. Got a little lemon in it, got a little honey in it. I got two tea bags in it too. I got a jasmine tea bag in there, and I got girl, I ain't got my glasses on. Peach. Peach and jasmine, a little honey, a little stevia, and a little bitty sliver of a lemon slice. Happy Saturday. I'm so excited, y'all. I'm off. So technically I'm off on weekends, but it's spring break week, so that means I'm off. Like off for real. I got to put an out of office message on my email yesterday, and it just brings me joy because I still look at my email, but I don't have to respond. I'll be watching them come in. I'll be like, I don't got to respond to you, girl. Anywho, how's everybody doing? I hope y'all can hear me. I'm monitoring if it's problems. My phone chat down here. So if you see me look down, that's why. I got my StreamYard chat up at the top because I like to start at the top. I hope everybody's having a really good day. I got a little fancy today, y'all. I had to put on a whole dress. I was like, because listen, so I decided I was going to do her Thursday. I was going to do Ketanji on Thursday because I was trying to have a discussion with my 8th graders, and I was using the day that Ted Cruz was talking to our good sis Ketanji, and it irritated every nerve in my body, and I couldn't focus, and I was about to lose it in front of my 8th graders, and I was like, "Yeah, girl, stop, just stop, do this on YouTube." So I had to stop in that moment. I was like, "Girl, you about to get in trouble with all of the people. Just don't." So, yeah. The students are hilarious because they know exactly, like, even if I didn't say something, they already knew what I was thinking. So I want to thank everybody for being here, everybody that's here, everybody that will be here in the future, everybody that want to be here, but they haters and they just ain't here. All the people that think I'm boring or not. Hey girl, hey. How y'all do? Wait. Oh, I'm like, wait. Oh, y'all see, I usually try to move my mess so y'all can't, girl, I'm not moving that today. What's over here? A piece of paper. Mm. I'm not moving none of the things. Okay, so anyway, let me get in the chat so I can tell y'all some of the stuff. And then we got to talk about our good sis, your honorable Ketanji Brown Jackson, child. I'm so excited for her. I'm so in love with her. I am so in awe of her strength. Because, baby, I would not have sat there. I wouldn't have made it past. I probably could have made it past day one. That was introduction day. But day two, they'd have been like, girl, you're not getting this job. All right, so thank you for being here. If you would please subscribe to my channel. I am trying to get to 500 subscribers by my 50th birthday in June. It's free 99, and that's the only thing I'm really asking for my birthday. Yeah, like literally, that's all I want. I want 500 subbies by June. I was about to tell y'all something else. I just forgot. Like, it literally slipped my mind in the moment because I'm off. Hey, Evil. Hey, girl. Hey, how are you? Subscribe to one of my besties in the world, not just the virtual world, but in this real world, Foxy and Family. Hey, girl. Subscribe to my big virtual sis, Saki Speaks. Please, thank you and very much. The live last night was everything. Saki, you were about to end the live when I woke up this morning. That's the way my world works. Even on an off day, I'm up. And I didn't want to be up. I stayed up till like, what time did I go to bed last night? I feel like I went to bed at like 11, 10:30, 11 somewhere. And it was just late to me. And I was still up at 2 something this morning. Subscribe to one of my mods. Well, Saki's my mod and Foxy is too. I see you are family, as well as Bikini Body Challenge. Bikini, I came over there. I gave you a little love, and then I had to come back over here and get my life organized and ready to start this live today. Also, one of my little sisters, Evelyn, who'll be over on her channel with all of the cursey words, all of the trucking ASMR, and all of the things. Yes, Evil, I still want to go into the place and see all of the things. I couldn't do it last night. Let me know when the next time is coming. Let's do it this week. I'm off. Let's set a date. Tell me when, and I'm gonna be there. Well, I'm not gonna promise, child, because I got stuff to do. Another channel that I absolutely love is Nola Reads. She's very supportive of all of our little small channels. So if you guys will go over there and subscribe to my girl Nola Reads, I would appreciate it. She is hilarious. I don't watch any of the shows, but I watch her recaps because they bring me joy. Also, you guys, so listen, I don't know if you guys have been here from like the beginning, but I told a story one day videos ago about a channel that I watched, Sinful the P. And I found Sinful the P through the lead attorney. Used to is the key word. I used to watch the lead attorney's channel. I even was on the panel one time with my struggle stream of it all. And so I found Sinful the P's channel through TLA. And he did a rebuking and altar call for Tasha K. And oh my goodness, it was a mess. And so I've been following like pretty much all of his channels since then. Well, Sin created a family channel. And I'll tell you guys who Sin is in a minute, but please understand his name is Sinful for a reason. But he created a family channel. And guess what? He put me on there as one of the people to follow, y'all. Hi, new subscribers. I got new subscribers, y'all. Thank you, Sin, and anybody that has recommended my channel. I love and appreciate you. I am having so much fun on YouTube. I'll just be so excited about all of the things. And baby, when I saw Sin had put your girl on his channel, I was like, ah. So you guys, subscribe to Sinful the P and Family's channel. There are a lot of smaller content creators that are on that channel that he is really trying to use his voice and his platform to help promote. Sinful the P and Family, the link is right there. Right there. Hey, Foxy at work trying to sneak in and sneak mod. Hit the like button on your way in. Hey, I got to put you on my list, Amina. I absolutely love Amina's channel too. You guys, if you are not subscribed to Amina K and her backup channel, subscribe to Amina K. Amina K is like the YouTube. It's not I can't even describe what she does. She literally takes what's on YouTube and just shows you who people are. Literally. Because, sometimes these videos can turn into hours, 2 hours, 3 hours. And sometimes if you like me, you could be a part of a person's, I could follow somebody and still not know all of the stuff they talked about because I might not watch every single video, or even if I'm watching a video, especially on a replay, child, I might fall asleep. So Amina does a really good job of just being all over this place and just taking your words and just highlighting them. And very short, concise clips. She doesn't talk. She doesn't add anything. She'll have a couple of memes on there looking around like, girl, what is these people? Did they say that? What happened? I love it. I love it over there. Thank you for being here, Amina. I appreciate you. All right. Foxy is giving Amina some love. Hey, BJ Diaz. Hey, girl. Hey. Foxy is giving BJ Diaz love. All right, everybody. Foxy, you don't know how to spell. All right, I see where our family is here. Foxy is here. Hey, Bikini, shouting me out and mod me up. Thank you. Yes, 500 subscribers by my 50th birthday. That is the goal. Well, hello, Caramelinated. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. Hey, Learning. Good morning, sunshine. How are you? I hope you're having a good Saturday. Y'all got me up here in a whole dress and everything. I was like, I got to get cute if I'm going to talk about my sis, because this girl. I had to. Is your cup matching your top or your top? So listen, I picked this cup because you can't see the writing on it no more. I obviously use this a lot. I picked it because it used to say, I'm not going to say what it said up here because it'll give away the district that I worked in, but it says Outstanding Teacher of the Year. I was an Outstanding Teacher of the Year for all of the middle school teachers in my district in 2018 or 2019. So this is one of my favorite mugs. It's a really good mug too. Like it keeps the tea warm for a minute. And it's just one of my favorite mugs. I didn't even peep that it kind of matches the dress, but it does, you know. BJ, you in the bed? Listen, I wish I could, but now I will be in the bed. I can't go to bed early tonight. I'm going to see a play at 8:00, y'all. I'm taking a nap. I'm going to take a nap before I go see this play because, girl, I be in the bed like 7, 8:00 on the school night. It's the weekend. So, you know, you supposed to be lit on the weekend. Just like I woke up lit this morning at 2:00, I still would want to go to sleep at 7 or 8:00, even if this is the weekend. It just is what it is. My body just, so yeah, I probably will have to take a nap today because I got some things to do this evening. Well, hello, Kimber. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. Welcome, and welcome. All of the love is being shown to everybody. I think I got everybody. I did. And let's get this party started because I do have a few video clips I want to show. I'm praying for no struggle stream of it all today. My Wi-Fi, it literally, I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi. It literally will just stop. It's not the Wi-Fi. I keep saying Wi-Fi. I'm hard plugged into the Ethernet because I don't want to deal with Wi-Fi. But sometimes the Ethernet just stops on the laptop. It doesn't stop on my phone or on any of my other devices, just the laptop. It did it this morning. It did it while I was watching you, Evil, this morning. I don't know why it does it. So hopefully that doesn't happen. And yeah, I got some video clips. So let me tell you guys, this morning, Evil, when I was watching you, at first I was going to change the time of this live because I wasn't ready. And I couldn't get ready. Like I was trying to put together my PowerPoint. I was trying to figure out what videos we were going to watch. And I just wasn't motivated. I was doing a whole bunch of other stuff. I was chatting with you over there. I just could not focus. So after I had the Wi-Fi went crazy and I came back and I still couldn't figure out because I didn't want to watch the whole video that I was watching with my students of Ted Cruz. I refused to give him that much space on my YouTube channel in general. So I had to rethink the approach. And so I found on the PBS, let me see, where did I find it at? The PBS NewsHour. They have really good summaries of day 1, 2, and 3. Day 4, we'll talk about why they don't have a summary of day 4. But I decided, and a part of me also didn't want to be biased, right? Like, I'm like, so if I do something negative, which would be Ted Cruz all day, then I need to find something positive to, you know, balance it out. But, you know, I feel like being balanced and I feel like doing all of that. So the summaries are good. It gives us a variety of different people that were talking and questioning our good sis and her responses to them. And then we'll stop it periodically. I'll check in with the chat and then I'll tell y'all some of my thoughts about some of the stuff. And I won't have as much rage, I believe, if I do it this way. So let me go back to the chat one more time. Make sure I got everybody up in here. Well, hello, Pink Dynamite. Hey, how are you? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. Hey, girl, hey. All right, you guys. So I stopped at Pink. All right, so I am going to share the presentation that I created. It's not very long. It's about 12 or 13 slides. Just to give you some background, if you don't know who Ketanji Brown Jackson is, some background on her, very summative, short. I pulled it directly from the government's website. And then we're going to go into a Washington Post article so we can look at her qualifications stacked up against the current Supreme Court. And then we're going to watch these videos because, baby, I wouldn't have got the job. Even if I wouldn't have opened my mouth, my body language would have gave it away. I had to rewind a couple of times on some of her moves because I found body language that she did just because I don't know if it's because I'm a Black woman or a woman. I was like, oh, right there, she was irritated. Like you could tell. If it's something as simple as, look, wow, she did this one time. Did y'all see that? She did this, watch. And then she did this. Her bottom jaw moved when Ted Cruz was talking to her. And then she took her tongue with her mouth closed and rolled it across the top of her teeth. Baby, she was cussing him out in her head. Big time. All right, let's pull this presentation up. Let's lower me down. And let's look at our good sis. Look, she just makes me so happy. Ketanji Brown Jackson, SCOTUS nominee. Black girl magic. All of the things. All of the things. Just a statement, child. I'm going to let that sit there while I take a little sip of my tea. All right, y'all. Let's get into it. So, the Honorable Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. On February 25th, 2022, President Joe Biden nominated Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson to become the 116th Associate Justice of the United States Supreme Court. Judge Jackson was born in Washington, D.C. and grew up in Miami, Florida. Her parents attended segregated primary schools, then attended historically Black colleges and universities. Both started their careers as public school teachers and became leaders and administrators in the Miami-Dade public school system. When Judge Jackson was in preschool, her father attended law school. In a 2017 lecture, Judge Jackson traced her love of the law back to sitting next to her father in their apartment as he tackled his law school homework. Excuse me. Reading cases and preparing for Socratic questioning while she undertook her preschool homework, coloring books. Excuse me. All right. Judge Jackson stood out as a high achiever throughout her childhood. She was a speech and debate star who was elected mayor of Palmetto Junior High and student body president of Miami Palmetto Senior High School. But like many Black women, Judge Jackson still faced naysayers. When Judge Jackson told her high school guidance counselor she wanted to attend Harvard, the guidance counselor warned that Judge Jackson should not set her sights so high. I hope that guidance counselor is still alive today and is eating all of the crow, is eating all of the things right now. That did not stop Judge Jackson. She graduated magna cum laude from Harvard University, then attended Harvard Law School, where she graduated cum laude and was an editor of the Harvard Law Review. Judge Jackson lives with her husband, Patrick, and their 2 daughters in Washington, D.C. Judge Jackson was one of President Biden's first judicial nominees. She was confirmed with bipartisan support to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit in 2021. President Obama nominated Judge Jackson to be a district court judge for the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia in 2012. She was confirmed with bipartisan support, which means these people that's talking crazy out the side of their neck to her right now have already confirmed her. Shh. Calm down. Okay. She was confirmed with bipartisan support in 2013. President Obama nominated Judge Jackson to serve as the vice chair of the U.S. Sentencing Commission in 2009. And she was confirmed with bipartisan support in 2010. Prior to serving as a judge, Judge Jackson followed in the footsteps of her mentor, Justice Breyer, by working on the U.S. Sentencing Commission. The commission, which President Biden fought to create as a member of the U.S. Senate, is bipartisan by design. Her work there focused on redirecting unwarranted sentencing disparities and ensuring that federal sentences were just and proportionate. Judge Jackson presented represented defendants who did not have the means to pay for a lawyer. That means she was a public defender. She was a public defender. And guess what? Public defenders don't get to pick and choose who they publicly defend. And guess what? On their best day and their worst day, whoever they represent, their job is to work on their behalf to get the best deal for their clients. I'm just going to leave that right there because that's their job. That was her job, literally. She will be the first former federal public defender to serve on the Supreme Court. Judge Jackson served as Justice Breyer's law clerk and learned up close how important it is for a Supreme Court justice to build consensus and speak to a mainstream understanding of the Constitution. Because of her diverse and broad public service, Judge Jackson has a unique appreciation of how critical it is for the justice system to be fair and impartial. With multiple law enforcement officials in her family, she also has a personal understanding of the stakes of the legal system. After serving in the U.S. Army and being deployed to Iraq and Egypt, Jackson's brother served as a police officer in Baltimore, and two of her uncles were police officers in Miami. Because hearings are a glorified performance, both parties coordinate their lines of questioning to cast aspersions on the nominee or allow them to defend their record, as the case may be. Thus, expect Republicans to spend their allotted time with Jackson grandstanding, and that they did. Howling about as many scary sounding things as they can think in the hopes that something resembling a criticism sticks or is worthy of a good soundbite. Democrats will take turns asking friendly questions, creating opportunities for rebuttal, and otherwise running out the clock. When senators of either party aren't talking, they might not even be paying attention at all. And if you paid attention to them and their body language while they were talking directly to her, they weren't even listening to her answers. Half of them wouldn't even let her finish talking and answering the questions that they asked her. Calm down, girl. Calm down. That's what had happened. I used to be a real political news junkie, you guys, probably for about 10 years. And guess when I had to stop? I had to stop when your boy got in the White House, the last president. I could not take it anymore. I was like, yeah, it's time to find a new hobby. And that's kind of when I got into YouTube. Like, I can't just listen to the news no more because I was just over. It was overwhelming. It just got to be really overwhelming, child. No, he was stressful. All right, I think this is our last slide, and then we're going to get into a news article. Supreme Court confirmation hearings can feel momentous. This absolutely feels momentous to me. If it doesn't feel momentous to anybody else, this is huge to me. They don't happen often, and a life-tenured position imbued with tremendous power is at stake whenever they do. The circumstances of this particular go-round, Jackson would be the court's first. Now, let me tell you, I got a problem with Black people being first still in the year 2022. But I'm going to set that problem to the side, and I'm going to bask in the glory that Jackson would be the court's first Black woman justice and its first former public defender. Those are of course significant and worth celebrating. And that is why we are here today, because it is significant and it is worth celebrating, especially after the week Good Sis had. Because I know Good Sis went home last night and she got her feet massaged by her husband. They had some wine by the fireplace and did all of the things because, baby, she was stressed out. And I'm sure she had to prep for all of this, but I'm sure she's really good at it. But I'm sure that in the prep, the people who were helping her prep came hard, just like the Republicans that questioned her hard. They came at her hard. So she been practicing this torture, and then she had to live through this torture publicly for the whole world to see. She is a star already in my eyes. All right. That's the last slide. All right, let's get into it. Let me remove that and let me share this screen. All right. So this is from the Washington Post. I saw this image floating around on my Facebook. Yeah, that's the one. On Facebook. And I was like, where did they get this from? So I found the image and I was like, I don't want the image. I want where it came from. So of course I found it. It was from the Washington Post. So this is just a summary of Judge Jackson's qualifications compared to the current Supreme Court justices' qualifications. Public high school, Jackson. Breyer is who she's replacing. So the guy next to Thomas Child is who she's replacing, and she was his clerk of court. Like, that's a full 360 experience. I'm sure he's happy. I'm sure she's just overjoyed. So they both went to public high school, Alito and Kagan. No other Supreme Court justice went to public high school. Okay, we can say no big deal. Ivy League law school. All of them went to an Ivy League law school except Barrett. Hey, girl. Career, Supreme Court clerking. Everybody did a Supreme Court clerk except Thomas, Alito, Sotomayor. Public defender. Oh, she's the only one. Oh, she has empathy. What? Empathy in an attorney? In a judge? Oh, yes. Ketanji has empathy. She did the work of a public defender. She's the only one. That is a definite quality that we need in the higher court, in the highest court in the land. Definitely. She's shining brightly just because of that alone. Well, all of the things, but that alone. She's on her own. Sentencing Commission, her and Breyer, the person she's replacing. District Judge, her, Sotomayor. Court of Appeals, everybody's done it except Kagan. So out of everybody on here, she is the most diverse judge, the most highly qualified judge based on these qualifications. Okay? Foxy said, pull a song out soon. If I was in front of my students, I would have been like, bars. Every time I do something that rhymes, I'll be like, bars. All right, so let's look at this article a little bit, and then we're going to get into some of these recordings. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, President Biden's nominee to fill an upcoming Supreme Court vacancy, faces 4 days of Senate hearings starting Monday. They just wrapped up yesterday, that are sure to include questions about her career. In some ways, Jackson, 51. She is 51. Yes, to the 50s. I'm coming, girl. I am at the door. I am knocking. Hey, 50. You ready for me? You ready for your girl? Mm-hmm. You are. Because I'm ready. Don't be laughing at me, caramelinated. In some ways, Jackson 51 followed a similar trajectory as the court's 9 justices on her way to becoming Biden's nominee. Harvard Law, Supreme Court clerk, federal appeals judge. Jackson is the first Black woman to be nominated to the nation's highest court in its 233-year history. That's a problem. That's a problem, y'all. And in other ways, she would bring less common experiences, namely having served as a district court judge and public defender. Here's which justices, if any, had similar educational and career experiences before they made it to the Supreme Court. So I'm not going to go through all of this because we basically just went through all of this in the summary in the big chart. So yeah, we ain't got to go through all of that. Let's get into these videos. That's what we're here for. We're here to talk about the people that's talking to her, and we're going to talk back to them. Even though they don't really care, I do. I want y'all to know what I got to say to y'all, because I'm going to say all the stuff she wanted to say that she couldn't say. Y'all know I'm bootleg over here, so I have to put the speaker to the microphone. It is what it is. All right, let's go. So this is day 1. I wonder if it's weird if the speaker is at the microphone when I'm talking. Okay, look. I'm gonna set it to the side for a minute. So this is day 1. I want to show you guys where this is coming from. So this is, I found this on YouTube. This is PBS NewsHour on YouTube. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson introduced herself, and senators made opening statements as the Senate Judiciary Committee opened hearings for her nomination for the Supreme Court. Many senators noted Jackson's historic status as the first Black woman to receive a nomination, while several Republican members said they hoped to avoid the contentious debates that marked nominations hearings for Justices Amy Coney Barrett and Brett Kavanaugh. Oh yeah, we got to talk about Brett. Okay, wait, before we get into this, let's talk about the Brett situation. Because I be hearing people talk about something, oh, well, this is just payback for Brett Kavanaugh. Do your payback on people that are used to getting this job. Don't do your payback on the first Black woman. I'm sorry. Politics as usual, right here and right now, at this moment, it should have stopped. Just for me personally, I just feel like it should have stopped. You should be ashamed that she's the first Black woman that's being nominated to the Supreme Court. Like, there should be some shame that comes with that. But there's none. And then they treated her like they didn't know her, like they had never confirmed her for anything. Like, girl, what? And then Ted Cruz be pulling out stuff. Listen, he is a whole clown. He got on the floor and read Green Eggs and Ham on the Senate floor. And then had the nerve to pull out a book. Okay, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Because I still want to know what his definition of critical race theory is. Because I don't even think he knows. He just likes to say those words because they sound good to the Republican talking points, I guess. I'm a teacher, and I'm still waiting on somebody to tell me what critical race theory is. Because ain't nobody told me, child. I don't know what it is, but they tell me I teach it. Well, what am I teaching? If I don't know what I'm teaching, how am I teaching that? Girl, bye. Okay, so anyway, let's start. I'm ready. I'm gonna stop talking for now. Wait, let's make sure y'all can hear. Let me know if y'all can hear, please. If you can't hear, let me know. What do the creators say? If you can hear the video, put a 1 in the chat, please.
115 justices in our nation's history. Judge Jackson's nomination, of course, is historic in more ways than one. Her nomination, pending a confirmation by the Senate, will bring us one step closer to having a Supreme Court that is more reflective of our nation, the American people, our constituents, and their faith in the courts. That's central to our democracy.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I had to turn the volume all the way up. I couldn't hear nothing he was saying when I was trying to listen to this earlier. I was like, do he got rocks and marbles in his mouth? Okay, I'm sorry.
They lose their faith, then democracy loses. Judge Jackson is no judicial activist. She is not a puppet of the so-called radical left. She's been praised by Republican-appointed judges for jurisprudence, lawyers from the right and the left who have appeared before her in court have called her judicious and even-handed. Judge Jackson is not anti-law enforcement. She hails from a law enforcement family. And no, she's not soft on crime. Her background as a federal public defender would bring an informed perspective of our criminal justice system to the Supreme Court. I would say that Judge Jackson's background is not a liability to the court. It's a much needed asset.
Period. Period, point blank. It is a much needed asset. Empathy. Having done the work for people who couldn't get justice in the justice system. She brings a particular set of lived experiences to her work. Like, you can't teach what she's done to just everybody. She's lived it.
To the court.
I'm a bit troubled by some of the positions you've taken and arguments that you've made. I'm eager to understand why in some instances you found that you could not decide a particular issue, while in other instances you enjoined a Republican administration from implementing its policies. I'm also interested, as others have mentioned, in your opinion, why pro-abortion.
I wonder, did she have to practice that? I'm sure when she was practicing and prepping, she worked with somebody for body language. She had to, because she did such a good job of just remaining in her calm space. Overall, she did a perfect job of remaining in her calm space, because most of us, by somebody coming at us the way he talking to her, our face would have been twisted up. Y'all already know y'all face would have been like, excuse me? What? And look at her face. Calm. She ready. She is ready.
Abortion, dark money groups like Demand Justice and anti-religious liberty groups are pouring millions of dollars into a public campaign in support of your nomination. Judge Jackson, these are some of the questions and concerns I have. I assure you that you will have every opportunity to address these concerns as the committee evaluates your ability to fairly and impartially deliver justice should you be confirmed.
This is not a normal day for America.
Y'all know Cory Booker be extra, right? Just he be so animated and extra, baby. Come through and save Big Sis, or save your sis, Cory Booker. He had to give her love a few times, but he just look at him. Uh-oh, girl, get away from there. Look at him. He is so animated. But he got her to smile. She broke character.
We have never had this moment before. And I just want to talk about the joy. I know tomorrow and the coming hearings will.
Did y'all know all them photographers be up in there like that? Just sitting down there. Can you imagine somebody just sitting down there all the time? Taking pictures. Putting microphones up in your face. They just sitting on the floor. Kara Melanated said, please slap some of these Republicans to next Tuesday. They totally disrespected her intelligence as a judge, a Black person, and a woman. Kara Melanated. Just wait, girl. This day one. Wait till we get to day two. Come on, let's finish this. This is only 11 minutes, y'all. These are short. That's why I was glad to do it like this, because these are less than 15 minutes each. And it's only 3 of them.
We're going to have tough, hard questions. But please, let me just acknowledge the fact that this is not normal. It's never happened before. The Senate is poised right now to break another barrier. We are on the precipice of shattering another ceiling, another glass ceiling. It's a sign that we as a country are continuing to rise to our collective cherished highest ideals. We've had 115 Supreme Court justices, and we shouldn't diminish the accomplishments of mostly these 108 white men. They were extraordinary.
Come through Cory Booker with a slight shade and a compliment. A slight shade and a compliment. We're not going to diminish what the 108 white men did. Come through, Corey. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Okay, wait, hold on, y'all. Something's going on with my feed on my telephone. Maybe because somebody just called me. Because my live feed on my phone and on my YouTube is different. I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay.
Patriots who helped shape this country. But now we are seeing to the highest court in our land a hopeful day like this. That so many of the people, so much of the rich talent of our nation, who could not scarcely ever dream of sitting on the Supreme Court, now we are showing that we will indeed go deep into the waters of our nation and pull forth the best talent. Today, we should rejoice because President Biden nominated someone that we've heard to be the 116th Associate Judge of the Supreme Court, who is extraordinarily talented and who also happens to be a Black woman.
Period! I love to hear it. I just love to hear it. And who also happens to be a Black woman. Take that, manosphere. Okay, anyway, let me focus. Y'all already know Lindsey Graham, you already know. Let's see what he got to say. I'm trying to be open-minded, but girl.
When we say this is not Kavanaugh, what do we mean?
Here he go. I'm going to rewind just a little bit so we can hear all of the things. And I'm going to try not to interrupt Lindsey because, I probably am not going to make that.
What do we mean? It means that Democratic senators are not going to have their windows busted by groups. That's what it means. It means that no Republican senator is going to unleash on you an attack about your character when the hearing is virtually over. None of us, I hope, have been sitting on information about you as a person for weeks or months. You come into our offices and we never share it with you to allow you to give your side of the story. We wait to the very last minute when the hearing's about to be gavel concluded and say, oh, by the way, I've got this letter.
This is called grandstanding, bloviating. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Like, why are we having this conversation? She didn't do it. She didn't do none of that.
And so happened that every media outlet in the country had the letter too. So the next morning there were headlines all over the country, really, accusing Judge Kavanaugh of being basically Bill Cosby. None of us are going to do that to you.
Why did he have to say that? I'm always curious about the why. I literally ask people, like, what's your why all the time? Why did he have to say that? Why did he bring Bill Cosby into this? Cosby sitting at home like, dog, I didn't even do it. I didn't do it either. She's sitting there looking like, I didn't do it. Cosby at home like, how I get here? Girl, I cannot.
And if any of us does that to you, all hell will break out.
He's lying because they did it to her and all hell did not break out.
Sure. So you're the beneficiary of a lie. You're the beneficiary of Republican nominees having their life turned upside down. And it didn't work. So I'm hoping that we can have a hearing that's respectful.
She's the beneficiary of not having her life turned upside down. Why would her life be turned upside down when she's already been confirmed? Right? Like, I don't understand that. Why would her life be turned upside down? She's been here before. You've confirmed her, bipartisan, 2-3 times before. There's no need for her life to be turned upside down. We didn't know Brett Kavanaugh was drinking beer and smooching the ladies. Like, we didn't know that. That was new information. What new information do you have here? Other than that, why are you having this conversation? I'm just this is irritating.
That's informative, that's challenging. And President Biden has every right to pick who he'd like to pick. That comes with winning the White House. And I've been very inclined to support the picks of people that I would not have chosen. But this is a new game for the Supreme Court.
I've been inclined to support the picks of people, right, that he wouldn't normally choose. And then he says, but.
Judge Jackson is an independent jurist who adjudicates based on the facts and the law and not as a partisan. Time and again, she has demonstrated that impartiality on the bench, sometimes ruling in favor of the government, sometimes ruling against the government, sometimes ruling in favor of the individual, sometimes ruling in favor of the corporation. Her rule is simple: follow the law. Now, some think it noteworthy that a former judge appointed by a Republican president would
Y'all see that beautiful baby next to her? That's her daughter. Oh, hey, girl.
enthusiastically endorse a nomination to the Supreme Court by a Democratic president. That reaction is a measure of the dangerous hyperpartisanship that is seeped into every nook and cranny of our nation's life, and against which the framers of the Constitution warned us. There should be nothing unusual about my support for a highly qualified nominee who has demonstrated through her life's work her commitment to the rule of law and an impartial judiciary.
By the power of her example of hard work, preparation, and excellence that transforms the seemingly impossible into the achievable. We knew early on that she could be anything she chose to be, but also that she seemed destined to be a judge.
She could be anything she chose to be, but she was destined to be a judge. Yes, girl.
Because of her ability to see all sides and render fair and level-headed decisions. Above all, Ketanji is humble enough not to pretend she knows how to have it all, but she does know how to give it her all. And what she gives to her family, her friends, she also gives to the law and to this country. A testament of her character is all the people of different backgrounds and beliefs who understand that essence of Ketanji. We've seen that in her endorsements from bipartisan colleagues from the bench and the bar, and from both civil rights leaders and members of law enforcement. And we will see it in the history she will make. I know she is honored and humbled by the significance.
That's her husband back there. Y'all see her husband right there? That's him right there.
Of this moment. Not for what it means for her, but what it means for our amazing country. Confirmation of the idea that America is a place in which all of us can feel a sense of belonging. And all of...
You know what I just noticed? Ketanji is very confident, it seems like, when she's like having to deflect or when she's being attacked. But when she gets praised, it looks like it makes her a little bit uncomfortable, y'all. I'm just now noticing that. Like, she looks a little bit uncomfortable every time somebody gives her praise, even though she feels she needs it and she might smile a little bit. She looks a little bit uncomfortable.
All of us can reach our fullest potential.
You affirm that the testimony you're about to give before
Look at that! Hey, girl! Hey, girl! Hey! Black girl magic. Black girl magic.
the committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do. Today will be the fourth time that I've had the honor of appearing before this committee to be considered for confirmation. When I was born here in Washington, my parents were public school teachers. And to express both pride in their heritage and hope for the future, they gave me an African name, Ketanji Onyeka, which they were told means lovely one. My parents taught me that unlike the many barriers that they had had to face growing up, my path was clearer, so that if I worked hard and I believed in myself in America, I could do anything or be anything I wanted to be. Members of this committee, if I am confirmed, I commit to you that I will work productively to support and defend the Constitution and this grand experiment of American democracy that has endured over these past 246 years. I have been a judge for nearly a decade now, and I take that responsibility and my duty to be independent very seriously. I decide cases from a neutral posture. I evaluate the facts, and I interpret and apply the law to the facts of the case before me without fear or favor, consistent with my judicial oath. Now, in preparing for these hearings, you may have read some of my more than 570 written decisions.
She done wrote 570. A decision is like a thesis. She done wrote 570 of them. Child.
You may have also noticed that my opinions tend to be on the long side. That is because I also believe in transparency, that people should know precisely what I think and the basis for my decision. And all of my professional experiences, including my work as a public defender and as a trial judge, have instilled in me the importance of having each litigant know that the judge in their case has heard them, whether or not their arguments prevail in court. I stand on the shoulders of so many who have come before me, including Judge Constance Baker Motley, who was the first African-American woman to be appointed to the federal bench and with whom I share a birthday. And like Judge Motley, I have dedicated my career to ensuring that the words engraved on the front of the Supreme Court building, "Equal justice under law," are a reality and not just an ideal. Thank you for this historic chance to join the highest court, to work with brilliant colleagues, to inspire future generations, and to ensure liberty and justice for all.
Yes! Yes. Okay, that's day one. That's the summary of day one, y'all. So day one was about 5.5 hours total, and it was just about the opening statements. So she gave her opening statements. Every senator got to give their opening statements. So it was about a 5.5 hour day. Days 2 and 3 are the questioning days. And day 2, which we're about to cover, she was there 12 hours on day 2. 12 hours. So she sat for a little over 5 hours on day 1. Day 2, we were at 12 hours. Day 3, it was almost 11 hours. Day 4, she didn't have questions, but that one was about 4 hours. In total, all of this was about 33 hours. That's a hell of a job interview. All right, so Evo is listening, but is trucking still. She is very humble. She is very, very humble. Hey, we on live. How are you? Welcome and thank you for being here on this lovely Saturday. I appreciate it. I heard about this moment and I passed. Well, I would love to know why. I would love to know why. Tell me your why. Why do you pass? We on live. Well, hello, Heart of Inspiration. I appreciate you for being here. How are you? It's good to see you in the chat. I see you are welcoming everybody. Good afternoon. Caramelinated. Listen, I was thinking this. I thought something had happened with my phone or the thing, and I was checking. I think YouTube removed your comment. Girl, I wonder why. I wonder, was it the Republican? I don't know why. But I think they took it off of YouTube. It's still in StreamYard, but they took it off of YouTube. Your comment was gone, and mine didn't delete it. It was gone. When I looked at it on YouTube, it wasn't there anymore, but it was still in the StreamYard. Why do you agree, Hart? I would love to know your why too. All right. As you guys are telling me about your why, I really do want to hear your why. Like, let's not do the bashing thing. Just like, what's your why? I get it, right? Like, everybody's not going to be 100% for anybody because that's just not how any of us are. But I'm here for her. I'm here for her personally. All right, you guys, let's go to day 2. Let's do the summary of day 2. So, facing questions about her record as a judge, the role of the Supreme Court in setting law and the constitutionality of recent sweeping legal decisions. Ketanji Brown Jackson spoke with senators for a second day of confirmation hearings. Jackson rebutted accusations that she has supported the teaching of critical race theory in elementary schools, championed too lenient sentencing for some criminals, and clarified language from previous legal opinions during combative questioning from several GOP senators, even though they said they wasn't going to be combative with her. All right, so We on Lock is giving me some good info. Well, due to some information I came across, let me put it this way. Out of all the other candidates, they picked this one for a reason. Okay, I would love to know what the reason is, though. I wonder what the reason is. All right, you guys, let's get into part 2. So this one is a little bit longer, 17 minutes, but this one is where the questioning starts. So let's see how long it takes us to get through this one.
Understood from my time as an appellate defender that a lot of defendants go through the system and don't really understand it. And the problem with that from our society's standpoint is that when people go through the criminal justice system and don't have a good understanding, they tend to not take responsibility for their own actions. They tend to be bitter and feel as though the justice system has wronged them. And so while they're doing their time, rather than reflecting on the fact that this is the consequence that they have to face for actually committing a crime, instead of doing the work to rehabilitate themselves, they're focusing on how wronged they are, how victimized they feel. And so what I decided as a trial judge was that I was going to make sure that everyone who was in my courtroom, and especially the defendant, understood all of the procedures that we were going through, all of the steps. I spoke directly to them. I asked them, do you understand what's happening? Because I wanted them to know. And then even perhaps more importantly, as I said about my child pornography cases, I focused on the harms of the behavior that was at issue. When I sentenced a defendant, I made clear in every case, here is the problem. This is what you've done. Here is the damage to our society.
The basis for the institution of marriage is the practice for millennia and the recognition that marriage was between a man and a woman. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not arguing the merits or lack of merits of same-sex marriage. I believe the states and the voters can choose what they will, and that's their prerogative, and I think that's legitimate. But when the court overrules the decisions made by the people, as they did in 32 of the 35 states that decided to recognize only traditional marriage between a man and a woman, that is a act of judicial policy making, is it not?
Senator, the Supreme Court has considered that to be an application of the substantive due process clause of the 14th Amendment.
Well, one of the things that concerns me is here is an example of the courts finding a new fundamental right that is mentioned nowhere in the document of the Constitution. That's the product of simply court-made law that we're all supposed to salute smartly and follow, because 9 people who are unelected, who have lifetime tenure, whose salary cannot be reduced while they serve in office,
I'm gonna pause it right there for a second. she's irritated, and you can tell she's irritated. She flips her hands over, she touches her watch, and she moves it, and she's listening to him bloviate a little bit about Supreme Court justices because that's their job, and that's the way the Constitution was set up to give them their job. And he wants to point out law. So I'm gonna pause right there, and I'm gonna go to the chat because I've been waiting on some whys, and I see some. Hart says, because her record on CPK sentencing and reasoning behind them shows me that she's too lenient on protecting children. So it is about her sentencing for child protective type cases. That is your why for her. And then I saw something else. There were other women who were more balanced in their sentencing. So is there like a laundry list of whys, or is it just that one reason? And then if we were to take the qualifications of the other women and their work and we balanced it with Judge Jackson's, would it be the same for other areas, or is that just your focus of concern, just that one area? Hart, that's my question. Are you looking at her as a whole, or just that one specific area that causes you concern about her nomination? All right, let's go back to, I think this is Cornyn. He's Cornyn.
They decide, 5 of them decide that this is the way the world should be.
How do you think we can work to maintain the public's confidence in the court? What do you see your role in that?
Thank you, Senator. Public confidence in the court is crucial. As has been said here earlier, the court doesn't have anything else. That is the key to our legitimacy in our democratic system. And I am honored to accept the president's nomination, in part because I know it means so much to so many people. It means a lot to me. I am here standing on the shoulders of generations of Americans who never had anything close to this kind of opportunity. From my grandparents, who had just a grade school education, but instilled in my parents the importance of learning. And my parents, who I've mentioned here many times already, who were the first in their families to get to go to college. So this nomination, against that backdrop, is significant to a lot of people. And I hope that it will bring confidence. It will help inspire people to understand that our courts are like them, that our judges are like them, doing the work, being part of our government. I think it's very important.
Federal public defenders don't get.
Okay, I'm gonna pause right there and get back to the chat. Hart says there are more, but honestly, being lenient on child offenders should be enough, shouldn't it? Well, I think one person's leniency, especially if what she brings is public defender. Public defender is what she lived, right, before she became a judge and she was into the sentencing. So because I feel like because she brings that, she is bringing a little bit more balance, and there are sentencing guidelines. And for me, a guideline means you don't have to give the smallest sentence, and you don't have to give the largest sentence. The guideline says in between this number and this number, you get to pick based on what transpired in court, based on the experience that you bring to the job. So I am not judging her leniency. As long as she stayed within the sentencing guidelines, for me, she did her job. So I'm not here to say it should have been more. People deserve to be a part of the system that if this is it and this is it, and the judge has that ability to make that decision, that's their job. It doesn't say your job is to give the toughest sentence on this, right? I think that's how we got out of the war on drugs situation. It shouldn't be the whole you're bad, 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 and far away. Should children be protected? Absolutely. But there are still guidelines to that protection that the law affords all citizens. And we don't have to like it. I just feel like it's part of the system. And if we want to change the guidelines, change the guidelines. If you want to make mandatory minimums a thing, make it a thing for that. But that's not her job. Her job is to follow the law and follow the guidelines. So I don't think I can answer that question. Should it be enough? If she was within the guidelines, she was doing her job. And we can have a conversation about you feel like it should have been more or less, but she did her job. Hey, Big Cias, that's okay. You here? All right, giving love. Yep, I figured out it was lenient. Listen, I can't help but wonder if the Black people in the chat who are so against someone that looks like them have the same vehemence for those that don't look like her but operate the same. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I'm not here to go back and forth. I do like to understand people's whys. And if that is your biggest thing, and if that's your why, I understand. I really do. I do. And I'm not here to say you're right or wrong. My why is I'm looking at the whole picture. I'm looking at history in the making. I'm looking at she's been confirmed 3 times before now, and gives us her job. All right. People get more time for having certain quantities of drugs than much worse crimes. Oh, I agree with that too. That's another thing that needs to be looked at. The drug sentencing guidelines. The guidelines are what's in question, I think, more so than the application of it. If I'm saying it properly. I find it particularly polarizing when Black people sit in such harsh judgment against someone that looks like them, but vote the party line when it comes to those that don't look like them. They might have their whys too, though, Big Sis. That's not this role, and she went way below the smallest sentence because, in her words, it's so easy to get now. The guidelines are not fair. Okay, I hear you. All right. Let's keep it light in the chat, you guys. We're not here for a public debate. We're just here for Ketanji Brown Jackson today. But yes, please express yourself. I love it. I love different opinions in the chat too. So don't be afraid to speak your mind and speak your piece and speak your truth. Okay. All right. Oh, it's one more. Let's go to Hearts. Yes, Saki, I do. We have to be able to question our own. Just because I question doesn't mean I'm vehemently against anyone. I agree, Heart. I agree with you. I'm with you. All right, let's keep going, y'all.
Get to pick their clients. They have to represent whoever comes in, and it's a service. That's what you do as a federal public defender. You are standing up for the constitutional value of representation.
Is it your view that society is too hard on sex offenders? You say they truly are shunned in society. You wrote that many of these laws are products of a climate of fear, hatred, and revenge. So just is that still your view? I mean, do you think that these laws are too tough, that we're too tough on sex offenders? Explain what you meant.
Many years ago, as a law school student, I was evaluating a new set of legislation, state laws about registration, and I was analyzing them as law students do. It wasn't about the sex crime, it was about the characterization of the law.
So she's giving reference to an analysis that she did about the law. So she's not looking at a particular person for this one.
Is it a punitive law? Is it a prescriptive law? And how would a court go about determining that? That was the frame that I used then. It could have been about anything. It was about the characterization of legislation.
1728 of the Harvard Law Review. This is your conclusion. In the current climate of fear, hatred, and revenge associated with the release of convicted sex criminals, courts need to be especially attentive to legislative enactments. So that's a conclusory statement. You're saying that there is a climate of fear, hatred, and revenge that are informing these laws.
With all due respect, my article is now in the record. People can read it and they can see that I was evaluating these laws not to determine their constitutionality, not to say that they shouldn't be enacted, but to talk about the ways in which courts make determinations about the character of the law and all of the consequences that follow from them. I was doing what judges do, which is look at the statute, 18 USC 3553A, exercise discretion as Congress has required us to do, take into account all of the various aspects of a particular case, and make a determination consistent with my authority, my judgment, and understanding fully the egregious nature of the crime.
Anti-racist baby.
Oh, I got to pause for Ted, girl, because I'm going to give Ted his time. Ted! Hey, Ted. Ted. Ted likes to read green eggs and ham to the people. So let's talk about the stuff. All right, let's get back into the chat. And the person instrumental for those drug guidelines is sitting in office alone. He did it alone? Did he? I understand that hurt, but my question is, were you questioning the others in the same manner? So, Saki, are you asking her, like, did you have these same types of questions for the most two recent ones, for Kavanaugh and for Amy Coney Barrett? Did you have those same types of questions? I think that's what Big Sis is asking, in the same manner. More often than not, we question our own, as you said, harsher than others. All of them are instrumental. Yeah, that was just my question too, Evil. Is it just one person or is it the government in general? I'm not pro-Democrat. I'm not pro-Republican. They are all two wings of the same exact bird, right? Like at the end of every day, they get on TV and perform for all of the people, but they go off camera and they're friends, they're politicians. They do all types of things that we'd never see. Like they go hang out and play golf and go drink beers and do all types of things, right? It's just publicly, a lot of them just argue angrily because it's performative. But literally, it's one bird with two wings, the right wing and the left one. Just because the right one is flapping or the left one is flapping, they both got to flap to fly. That's just my little analogy, y'all. Yes, I was, Saki. I question everyone because I've seen too much from foolery and lies. I do too. That's how I am. I question everybody, including the corporations. Oh, child, let's not talk about corporations and that money in the corporations, including the corporations, because they pass the politicians' pockets. They don't do what the constituents request, but lie to us and get in office and then do something different. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. Hart, ma'am, this country was founded upon tomfoolery and lies. Child, period, point blank. The whole situation ship. Every single system in our country was. Every single system, including the one I work in. Starting with Christopher Columbus, who didn't discover nothing but the back of his hand. I don't know what I missed right there. Go look up the current POTUS wrote and pushed and spoke about that law when he was a senator. I agree with that to a certain degree, but it was everyone that like he didn't single-handedly create it or single-handedly get it passed, right? I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Y'all remember that song? So before they become laws and all of that, and whatever is happening, all of this stuff goes through lots of processes. That's my thing, I think, Hart, when you say it's him, like it's the system too. He might have supported it for sure, but it's the system. And again, I'm not for or against the people. The people get their jobs, and they don't care what I think about them. I answered your question. Do I question everyone? Yes. Okay. Hey, Nala girl. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Raphael is the scum below hell with his anti-black behind. Are you talking about Cruz? Like, wait a minute. Nola, I know how you talk. I'm like, okay, wait, I got to turn into Nola right now. What is Nola saying to me? I was like, wait, did you see me think about it? I was like, she's talking about Cruz. I had to look at him. I was like, that's what she's talking about. She's talking about Ted Cruz. Oh, I see you are a family. The white men clubs exist in most organizations, especially all of the public organizations, all of them, even the private ones. Any of these companies that's been around for hundreds of years, especially the ones that dated back to slavery, Chile, please. They is all full of it. It's called the House of the Senate. Hundreds of senators, and majority passes to the next step. His new name is... I got it. I knew it, Nola. I knew it. I told you. I was like, wait, what is Nola saying right here? All right, we're going to talk about Raphael as soon as I get done with the chat. Nola the name Ted Cruz, Raphael. Yes, Nola, we got nicknames up in here. Raphael. All right, Saki says, people pick and choose the manner in which they question. The facts of the matter is we as Black people have been conditioned to be much harsher on our own and unconsciously than we are on others. First of all, we as Black people don't even have like any real things that we are like ours. We don't have a party. The Republican Party is not ours. The Democratic Party is not ours. If we try to create an independent party, people only vote for Democrats or Republicans. Like there's nothing that's ours. So like, right, like you got to hitch on to a R, or you got to hitch on to a Democrat. You might look up like Bernie Sanders and be an I and get in, but even he got to join up with the Democrats to get anything done. So we don't have nothing. We don't have nothing. We got to be a part of these systems that already exist, that are not created for us to even be in the first place. Okay, let me be quiet. Nola is a mess. Yes, Saki, I'm not ignoring any of that, but our own people work with the same white gatekeepers on both sides. Absolutely. Girl, politics gets me angry. Don't get angry. We're not being angry today, child. It is Women's History Month, and I am here celebrating good sis, Ketanji. Flaws and all. Flaws and all. Today, baby. Bring me all of her flaws, and I'm still going to give her flowers on this day, today, flaws and all, girl, because it's some parents out there that's mad at your girl because I failed their kids, because within the guidelines, a 68, I could have made that a C, girl, but I didn't. It's not a 70. Child. Right? Like, it's gonna be something wrong with everybody. It's something wrong with all of us. It's something wrong with you. I done did something that if you want to bring it up and the guidelines and the this and the that and the that and the pop, I probably did, especially during my first 5 years of teaching, child. Listen, any teacher that's taught for the first 5 years, we be praying for the kids we taught them first 5 years, because we just learning how to teach. School don't teach you how to teach. You can't learn how to teach till you teach, girl. Period. Periana to the period. So yeah, like we're gonna keep it cute and classy today. We're not gonna be angry today. Evo. Hey, Evo. Mwah. Guys, he wrote it. He called our neighborhoods jungles, our boys predators. Did he pass it? Only no. But seriously, we have to be honest. I'm with you. I get it. But again, I'm not saying I'm for him. I ain't for none of them. It's all performative. It's all politics at the end of every day, in my opinion. But it's the system that we stuck with. And half of those people that's still in office, especially senators, they all is his boy. Even the Republicans, they love him. Child. All of them. They all in cahoots. Him, Hillary, all of the people. But they are the gatekeepers. And since they are the gatekeepers, you got to get past them. Listen, Black people become incredibly vocal when it is one of us, but are mute ASF, at least publicly, when it comes to their disdain for others. That's why we're here celebrating good sis Ketanji, the first Black woman to be nominated to the United States Supreme Court. Driving calms my nerves, girl. Yes, girl, drive on, drive on. And I am aware of our current condition. We have to stop confusing being honest and being self-hating. Absolutely. All right. I'm not saying that we should all just go up for her because she's a Black woman. Oh, absolutely not. But I am saying show her some grace, because even on her worst day, she's better than all on her best day, on their best day. I'm with you, girl. Do you believe people can change? Just curious. Child, I change every day. Every time I open my eyes, I'll be like, we're not going to do that no more, girl. We're going to do this new thing. I'll be like, we're not going to teach like that no more, girl. We're going to teach like this new thing. I do it all the time. But if you hold me in my past, child, and some girl, especially, I feel bad for people like that are judges that have, you've written an opinion and in 20 years, that opinion didn't age well, girl. It's just like tweets. Opinions are like tweets. These people's going to pull them things up and question you about stuff that you don't even believe no more. It's part of the process. It's part of the process. Just to be clear, I don't like no one. We know. Evo. I'm honored that you actually like me, though. I am. I don't like none of these politicians. Dead. Well, very few. Period. 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 Oh, wait, I missed one. Hey, Gordo Poppy TV. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here. Come on in. We celebrating good sis Ketanji today. And we having some good, positive, a little discourse in the chat. I love that. I absolutely do, y'all. All right. I be trying to get my kids to have these conversations in class, but they don't, they really can't, because they don't really know all the things. So I love it. I love it. All of them crooked as cracks, period, in the streets. But none of them who came before her were asked about understanding white privilege. Child. The white privilege and the Black power of it all. All right. Yes, Gordo, we hope you liked the video on your way in. I believe they can, but what did he do day one? Took away HBCU funding. Told the Black Caucus he would not be talking to us. He's not my guy, so nobody in there is my guy. The only time I've ever been a fangirl was Obama, and he wasn't perfect either. So I could write a laundry list about all of these presidents and what they did and didn't do, child, going back to George Washington. Because I teach this stuff every day. I'd be like, girl, keep your face clear. Don't send signals to the children as you teach this history, child. That's what I have to do. Evil is laughing. Oh, because you love me? I'm honored. Yes, FBI to CSI. I change every day. Love and hugs. And now wants to put crack pipe packages up. That's not true. I read an article about that assumption that he was giving crack pipes. That's not true. That's not what that says. That's not true. Yes, please support my channel. We're going free 99. I just want y'all to subscribe. I need 500 subscribers by June. That's my goal. If I make it, I'm going to be so excited. If I don't, I'm still going to be here though. But that's my goal. It's free 99. Subscribe, like, and share. But if you want to send your girl some coins, I'm here for the coins. Organized Chaos is the Cash App. All right. Clinton and Obama were my guys if I had to choose. Listen, Clinton wasn't even my guy. And I was conscious when Clinton was in office. I thought he was a mess. He was financially the best president, in my opinion. But everything else, child, Clinton was a mess. He was just he was a charismatic mess. But he was a mess. But financially, he held it down. He done held the financial part down better than any other president. But he was a mess. Him and the 3 strikes and all of that. I wasn't here for Clinton. I was not here for Clinton. I was not. Obama, flaws and all, I'm here for first because, and he wasn't terrible. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't here to, to tear up the country. So that was my guy. But Clinton, nope. He didn't get my love like that. He was the lesser of 2 evils to vote for. And that's what I was talking about, Nola. Like, I hate that part right there. Like, you stuck between a Democrat and a Republican. Why are we like that in this country? There's other options, but before D and the R exist, like it's other things in between these 2 pieces of bread. None of them can really get traction though. And that's what's really frustrating as I don't like neither one type of voter. Like, give me somebody that's going to be able to get the win, that's going to be able to get in there and shake the shit up for real. I'm down with that, but we never have that type of option. So the lesser of 2 evils, that bothers me, but it is what it is. I see him parading Black women in his camp to win our votes. He does, not because he believes in them. So let's be clear. We see him. I clearly see you. Clearly see you. Absolutely. No, they were accused of predatory behavior instead. I don't know where that came from. I'm lost. I missed that. I mean, I'm sure I'd said it, but it's been a minute. The country has not had surplus since Clinton. Okay, Nola. Financially for the people. Please remember to hit that like button on your way in the room. Yes, 500 by 50, 500 by 50. Facts. At least that's what they tell us. The world will never really know, and especially not American citizens. It was the paperwork chaos. I read it myself. I read it online too. And I didn't see crack pipes as I listened to the talking points about it. That's what made me go read it. I'm gonna go look at it again because it's been a minute since I read it, but I didn't see it because I kept seeing the talking points. I was like, who getting crack pipes? They're getting crack pipes for real? Or like what? And I went and looked for it and I didn't see it. And then they explained where the talking point came from. They don't get enough support to shake anything up to even get into office. I know, right? That's my thing. Like, I just want a phenomenal, different candidate. I don't want a Republican candidate. I don't want a Democratic candidate. I don't care what they call themselves. I want somebody to run for office that will actually be a change maker. There will never be a Democrat that's going to change anything substantially. There will never be a Republican that's going to change anything substantially for the people. It's just not going to happen. That's not the way that their system is currently set up. That's not what's important to them, right? Their job is to kind of maintain the system and grab as much power as they can on both sides. It just is what it is. I want somebody that's going to get in there and after 4 years be like, deuces. I came in here. I shook this shit up. I changed everything. I know y'all ain't going to vote for me again. Peace out. Have fun. That's what I really want because that's gangster right there. Like, I know I talk shit. I talked all this shit. I got up in here and I voted and I watched me, boom, break it down, build it back up, and then exit stage right because I ain't trying to be up in here forever. Y'all just needed me up in here to change it up for the next person. But I can dream. That's my little dream. All right, let's keep going. Let's listen. Because Ted Cruz got books, y'all. Ted Cruz likes books. He likes green eggs and ham and Sam I Am. And he likes more books too. Let's get into it. Yes, I love the discussion. But if it wasn't for the politics, will we even be having the discussion? And I wouldn't be going and Googling stuff when I get offline. All right, let's go.
By Ibram Kendi. And
now, you know that name, it bothered him to even say Ibrahim Kendi.
There are portions of this book that I find really quite remarkable. One portion of the book says babies are taught to be racist or anti-racist. There is no neutrality. Another portion of the book, they recommend the babies confess when being.
Let me tell you my issue, right, girl. Did she write this book? Does she teach this book in her court? I be trying to take the people seriously. But when the performative is performing, I cannot. This man done blew up pages from Ibrahim Kendi's children's book and put it in front of a judge. Okay.
Racist. Now, this is a book that is taught at Georgetown Day School to students in pre-K through second grade, so 4 through 7 years old. Do you agree with this book that is being taught with?
Do you agree with this book that's being taught? She don't have nothing to do with the book that's being taught. She doesn't have to have an opinion about the book that's being taught. Child.
Kids, that babies are racist?
I do not believe that any child should be made to feel as though they are racist or though they are not valued or though they are less than, that they're victims, that they are oppressors. I don't believe in any of that. But what I will say is that when you asked me whether or not this was taught in schools, critical race theory, my understanding is that critical race theory as an academic theory is taught in law schools. And to the extent that you were asking the question, I understood you to be addressing public schools. Georgetown Day School, just like the religious school that Justice Barrett was on the board of, is a private school.
Okay, so you...
Private. I'm a K-12 educator. I don't even know what critical race theory is. But there are people that show up at our board meetings screaming at the board and our superintendent that our teachers are teaching critical race theory. I've never been trained on critical race theory. I don't even know how to explain what critical race theory is other than teaching all of history and not parts of history, I'm guessing, is the problem. But go on.
Do you agree critical race theory is taught at Georgetown Day School?
I don't know, because the board is not, the board does not control the curriculum.
Are you?
The board does not control the curriculum. And it has nothing to do with her sitting on the bench.
Are you comfortable with these ideas being taught to children as young as 4 and in respect to the first book, as young as 8 and 9 in respect to the second book?
Senator, I have not reviewed any of.
I'm sorry, y'all. My son is loud and he just came up here. Let me pause for a second. I'm not going to tell y'all what my son just asked me. Okay, let's go. I'm sorry. I'm going to go back just a little bit. Actually, no, I'm going to pause right there and go into the comments because I see y'all talking. All right. Appreciate the debate. Hate the politics. They all campaign on the people's emotions to get in, but make laws for their benefactors. Absolutely. I agree with that. Driving. Let's talk about the idiots out on the ride. Yes, we will. Every time a change maker comes up, they have to come through the courts, the current system, but they can be a change maker. We have to listen. But I haven't seen any of, I haven't seen one that is going to win that doesn't identify as a Republican or as a Democrat. We're just always left with these two ending options at the end of every day. And that's what I'm exhausted with only 2 options. I like all of the things. Give me all of the options, make them good, make them, a level playing field, and let's have, go from there. All right, Saki says, listen, Black folks were all in for Clarence Thomas, even though he was accused of harassing Anita Hill. He was confirmed despite it. And now had her name been Rebecca McGillicuddy, he'd be in jail. Child, I wasn't in for Clarence Thomas. I was not. And I believed Anita Hill when everything was going down. Now, I was conscious for that. I can't remember how old I was, what year this was, but I remember Anita Hill got dragged. I ain't never seen a woman dragged as much as I saw Anita Hill get dragged. And I was younger too, so I don't even remember. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember, but yeah. Yep, it's very true. Yeah, it made me mad too. What does this book have to do with her making decisions as a judge when she didn't write it? Child, that's what I be trying to figure out. Evil said, mute Raphael. Mute Raphael. Raphael, I don't agree with you. With your mating, with your sorry paw to make this. Okay, wait, I gotta read it. I gotta turn into Nola because this is how Nola talks. Okay, Raphael, I don't agree with your ma mating with your sorry paw to make the trash. That is you. Nola. Was this his feeble-minded attempt at rejecting critical race theory? Well, for some reason, CRT is like a really big talking point. Like it just became a talking point. And educators, especially in the K-12 system, we have had directives come from central office asking us what is in our curriculum and are we teaching critical race theory? And all of us are like, what is it? We've all asked central office, what is it? Like, what is critical race theory? And we never get a response because nobody has defined what it is. Like, what part of our curriculum is critical race theory in? Because I teach the curriculum, right? Like, I teach what I'm supposed to teach. I teach what y'all told me to teach. Even though it's not a full curriculum, I do teach that part. I teach other parts of history too that might not be talked about as often, and then the big picture of U.S. history sometimes. But what is critical race theory? Like, I've been waiting on somebody to summarize it for me, and I haven't heard it. Parents embed that BS in their children and reinforce it throughout their lives. I don't agree with you bringing your ugly. Wait! I am never ready to read Nola's comments. Okay, wait. I got to read Nola's comments first, and then I have to read them. Okay, wait. Oh, Nola is big mad at her senator. I don't agree with you bringing your ugly ASS and your family on vacation while we was without power here in Texas. He better F on. Basically, white people don't want to accept the fact that their ancestors were some treacherous individuals who engaged in unspeakably egregious acts against Black people and Native Americans. That's not a part of my curriculum. What is a part of my curriculum is how did we get here? What has happened since we've been here? Why did the Native Americans or the indigenous people, I like indigenous people better than Native Americans. Why did the indigenous people lose their homes? They were here. Why were they forced off of their land? We learn a lot about that because I'm always asking, why? Why? I even ask my students, why? And then we'll have really good discussions around primary sources. Art is taught in first-year law school. Oh, CRT. CRT is taught in first-year law school with they dumb selves. Your ancestors were trash. They bigot trash. Nola is mad. Nola. Hey, Nola, girl. It's Saturday. Are you working today? Get you some water, girl. Or some tea. I still got some tea. Oh, I think I drank all my tea. It's gone. I got water over here somewhere. Hart said, okay, this is a hopeful. Hart, did you see him when he read Green Eggs and Ham on the Senate floor one day? for hours and hours and hours. He read to his children through the Senate floors for their bedtime. He ain't my senator. I don't know him. Didn't vote for him. He's still yours though, child. Even in the democratic society, even the people that we don't vote for, they're ours. We're stuck with them. Mm-hmm. All right, let's keep going. Oh, don't mess up your janky mic, girl. We got a situationship here. Let's keep going.
Of those books, any of those ideas, they don't come up in my work as a judge, which I'm respectfully here to address. Girls,
they don't come up in her work as a judge, and they don't come up in my work as a social studies teacher. How about that, girl? Here come your boy Corey with the happy face. Heart says, I got a boss. Oh, thank you for being here. I appreciate you spending time with us. I appreciate your insight. I appreciate your thoughts. You got me taking notes. I'm gonna get into it. And thank you so much for coming, Heart. All right, let's go.
You know, you had to deal with me juggling motherhood and job responsibilities, and I didn't always get the balance right. And so I would hope for them seeing me. Hopefully you all will confirm me, seeing me moved to the Supreme Court, that they can know that you don't have to be perfect in your career trajectory and you can still end up doing what you want to do, that you just have to understand that there are lots of responsibilities in the world and that you don't have to be a perfect mom, but if you do your best and you love your children, that things will turn out okay.
Well, I'm sure your mom probably feels she wasn't perfect, but things have turned out okay.
In your nomination, did you notice that people from the left were pretty much cheering you on?
Child, Lindsay, didn't you say we wasn't gonna do this? I swear you said we wasn't doing this yesterday. That was day one. You said we wasn't gonna do this. Child, he gets on my nerves. Okay, we're gonna listen to Lindsay in a minute. My chat is moving. Girl. We are examples of Black woman magic. I love you all, says Heart. We love you too, Heart. Of not far. I can't type on this phone. Yes, thank you for being here. Hey, Jack. Happy Saturday. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Yes, Anita was dragged horribly. I remember because I was pregnant with my son. It was October 1991. That means I was a freshman in college. I was woke. I was awake. I was there. I was mentally there. That's why. Yep. 91. Yes, welcome. Yes, please make sure you like the video. I know you're subscribed because you're chatting. Thank you. I appreciate you. Did he notice the people in hoods cheer him? Nola, I be dead. Oh my goodness. I cannot with Nola. Nola said, did he notice the people in hoods cheer him on? Oh, okay.
A lot of people were cheering me on.
That's true. Did you know that a lot of people from the left were trying to destroy Michelle Childs? Did you notice that?
Senator, a lot of people were supporting various people for this nomination.
So you're saying you didn't know there was a concerted effort to disqualify Judge Childs from South Carolina because she was...
What they got to do with her? What? This is her. What this got to do with her? If I get an interview, what I got to do with the other people that was getting interviewed too? What this got to do? This is what was making me mad. That's why I couldn't do this with my students. What that got to do with her? She didn't do it. She already got enough stuff she did. Quit acting like she did every dang on thing. Is he part of the manosphere? Y'all think Lindsey Graham watched Manosphere? Let me stop. Let me focus. Hart says, I agree. The two-party system is broken. We need to clear the slate and start over. Now that we can mutually agree on. And I love it. We don't have to agree on everything, y'all. Nobody's going to ever 100% agree with everything that you like, don't like, agree with, disagree with. Can't. It's not going to happen. But we can respect each other. We can talk and have conversation. We can agree to disagree. And we can find common ground and say, okay, that right there, girl. Absolutely. Yes. Nola is a mess, Foxy. I don't know if you can see her comments because you working or if you don't hear them until I read them, child. Nola is out here cutting up in the chat. I can't stand Lindsay Clutch. My person. Jack, I don't know who can stand him. And a Turtle Mitch, I don't know who do they have real friends in real life? I just be so confusion. Okay, let's keep going, y'all. Let's keep going. Okay, here come Nola. Let me breathe first. Okay, Nola said, yeah, I got to read Nola first before I say it. Nola says, did he know he very close to busting hell wide open? The audacity. Okay, let's keep going.
Union busting, unreliable Republican in disguise.
Senator, I'm a sitting judge. I was focused on my cases.
The answer is no, I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that.
So you're judicial.
Baby, I don't have the nerves or the temperament. When he said, so the answer is no, and then she had to repeat it, I would not have repeated it. I've been like, who you talking to? You asking ridiculous questions. Child, I wouldn't have got the job. My nerves is bad. I can't even sit still now and watch a replay.
Philosophy is to rule impartially.
No, my judicial philosophy is to rule impartially and to rule consistent with the limitations on my authority as a judge. And so my methodology actually helps me to do that in every case.
So you wouldn't say that you're an activist judge?
I would not say that.
Okay, but here's what I would say.
And then he just throws words out so that they can get clipped. So you wouldn't say you're an activist judge. News 9. Lindsey Graham says Ketanji Brown Jackson is an activist judge. Tune in at 5.
That every group that wants to pack the court, that believes this court is a bunch of right-wing nuts that are going to destroy America, that consider the Constitution trash, all wanted you picked. And this is all I can.
And the fact that she has to sit there through this abuse, look at her face. She want to cuss his ass out. But she's comfortable in this. This is her comfort zone, y'all. This ain't the first time. And it's probably not going to be the last time. Praise is uncomfortable for her. But this right here, sis got this. Sis got this. Because, child, I don't.
Can say is the fact that so many of these left-wing radical groups that would destroy the law as we know it declared war on Michelle Childs and supported you is problematic for me.
Roe v. Wade, let's talk a little bit about that. It's come up touch today. In my opinion, that.
Okay, y'all, I got to stop. Who is that? Is that Marsha Blackburn, I think? I don't know. What's going on with her hair? It's everywhere. Okay, I gotta stop. I'm being petty. That's why I had to stop, because I couldn't watch it. Okay, let's go to the chat real quick. Jack says, "Hey sis, I'm still laughing about last night. It was so lit over there last night, Jack. I had to watch it this morning. That was a good welcome back to a live show every year. It was awesome, Saki. I don't know if you were here when I was talking about it earlier. It was so good. And then we were talking about it on Evil's channel, child. That was a good live last night. I had to catch it on the repeat this morning. Wait, I gotta read Nola first before I read Nola. See what I said? That's why I had to read it. The disdain and disrespectful way he talked to her. Baby, I would have beat his ass right then and looked for his mama. Yes, thank you, Jack. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, that was good. It was good last night. Yep. Flowers to Saki while she's here. Absolutely. It was real good, Saki. I was all in this morning. Child, that hair, right? I had to stop. Like, girl, what's happening? Did you do it this morning? You just woke up and shook it and walked out the house. Okay, let's keep going, y'all. Let me stop. I'm professional. I have on my little, my dress, and I'm being good.
That was an awful act of judicial activism and has cost the lives.
So this must be a talking point, I'm guessing, because this is the second time somebody done said it. Judicial activism. I don't watch a lot of news anymore. I can't take it, but I'm guessing this is one of the talking points in the other in a circle, one of the circles, the R circle or the D circle. I guess these are the R circle talking points. Judicial activism.
Of over 63 million unborn children. And nearly 50 years later, this shameful ruling remains binding precedent, but the battle is being fought in the courts. And as you know, and as we discussed when we visited, the Supreme Court is reconsidering whether the Constitution protects the right to an abortion in Dobbs. And if you're confirmed, you will be in a position to apply.
Yeah. Okay, look. Maybe I'm just too about minding my own business most of the time. I just don't understand the whole abortion issue. Like I don't understand it. I'm not gonna act like I do.
The court's decision in Dobbs, whatever that decision is going to be. And you've talked about following precedent and what the court decides. So do you commit to respecting the court's decision if it rules that Roe was wrongly decided and that the issue of abortion should be sent back to the states?
Senator, whatever the Supreme Court decides in Dobbs will be the precedent of the Supreme Court. It will be worthy of respect in the sense that it is the precedent, and I commit to treating it as I would any other precedent of the
There's
Supreme
one. Can you explain to me on a constitutional basis the court's decision in Roe, and where is abortion protected in the Constitution?
Abortion.
Where are Black people protected in the Constitution? That's what I would have said to her. Where are Black people protected in the Constitution? Oh, okay. Girl.
Is a right that the Supreme Court has recognized in the is one of the kinds of rights that is unenumerated. It is in that same category of rights that the Supreme Court has recognized.
But the text of the Constitution does not mention abortion.
Or Black people.
That is true.
That is true. That is correct. So you agree that the Constitution does not mention the right to an abortion,
or Black people.
And yet, through one of the most brazen acts of judicial activism, our Supreme Court.
Here they go with judicial activism. They just asked her, was she a judicial activist? Her answer was no. So why are you circling back to judicial activism, girl? Go do your hair. Fix it. Fix it.
Created the right through Roe v. Wade. This is why Americans, this is why so many women that I've talked to are really concerned about who sits on the federal bench.
And I want to thank.
I have a pause right there and get into the chat. We almost done with day 2. Child. It's a bad wig. There's no part anywhere. It's a bad wig. It's a terrible wig, child. It's a terrible wig. She didn't even brush it. She just woke up, shook it out, and sprayed some more spray on it so it wouldn't move. That was all she did that day. Nola Reads is a mess. We already know when Nola is coming into the chat, child, you gonna bust out laughing at your desk, child. Absolutely. She used it to mop up some water before she... We're not supposed to be petty right here, y'all. We're supposed to be focused. I'm all professional today with y'all. Look, I'm covered up in every look. Girl, come on, y'all, focus. Focus! Ah! I've always felt it was a matter of choice. Period. They really believe it as well, because when their daughters get pregnant, they rush her behind to a clinic or hire someone to do it in secret. Because the people that got money can do what they want to do and act like they ain't doing it. That's all they do. And they make it a crime for everybody else, but they get to do whatever they want to do. Like, make it, girl. They put these folks through the ringer. And then once they are confirmed, child, they do whatever the heck they feel like, just like every other politician, just like every other job. I hate job interviews. Like, I loathe job interviews because her resume says it all. Everybody's resume says it all. I feel like a job interview literally should just be to see if we are going to be able to work well together. Do we vibe? Do you know the position? Do you know what I need you to do? Are you easily trainable? All of these questions about, girl, check the resume, check the Carfax, have a conversation with me, and let me know if we vibe. If I get the job, all of that extra. Many of people have had wonderful interviews. I've sat on a few interview committees myself. I've seen some people kill the interview and they get the job and they can't do shit. This woman has been confirmed 3 times. Stop the shenanigans. Stop the shenanigans. We mad at women and want a police. Wait, it's Enola. Girl, you know you were supposed to read that first. I'm sorry, I forgot. Okay, wait. So they're mad at women and they want to police women's bodies, but not the men. Of course not. They're making male birth control. Are they going to force men to take those male birth control so that they don't unintentionally get women pregnant? Are men going to take the male birth control because they quick to tell a woman she should or keep her knees closed? I heard one senator one time tell a woman the best way to function was to put a pill between her knees. Because I guess if you squeeze in a little pill between your knees, you can't open your knees up for peeing. Woo! Ma'am, you and your dusty mop wig, go to hell. Foxy and family being FBI and CIA agent, no laughing. Right. They may think you're weak over there. Foxy, don't laugh at work. She's circling back to judicial activism because she is like a great majority of white women. Mad as fuck that a black woman had the audacity to be good enough, to be exceptional, to be magical enough, to be in that seat. Bitch. Hater. All right, let's keep going. This one is almost done, y'all. And we only got one more. We only got one more to watch. Day 3. Day 3 is our last one. We good.
Judge Jackson, for this long day and part of it under tough circumstances. You were a model of grace under pressure. At times, things were said about you which turned out to be inaccurate. It was said you called President Bush and Secretary Rumsfeld war criminals. That didn't happen. It was said you also
And if she did,
you always sentence criminals too lightly.
so we had our chat conversation about that.
That's not exactly true. It was said you apologized to a defendant in a child pornography case without any sympathy for the victims, and that wasn't true either. The truth is you've been a judge for nearly 10 years. You've sentenced more than 100 defendants, some to decades in prison. And even the child pornography cases my colleagues continue to raise over and over with you, your sentences were in line with the recommendations of the government or probation office in the vast majority of the cases that you heard. We invited a number of people to come here today, and one special guest was a lady who cleans our office at night. She works the midnight shift, but she wanted to be here today to see you and hear you and stand by your side. And she said afterwards that it was a great moment for her to be in this room today. But she asked my staff, why are some people so mean? Well, I have to tell you, the overwhelming majority on both sides of the aisle were not mean. They were constructive and positive and really raised important questions that we all care about. Some are always going to be a little disappointing. That's the nature of human life. Tomorrow morning, we're going to gather at 9 a.m. for.
All right, so that's the end of day 2, you guys. Remember, this is just a summary. Day 2 was 12 hours. We watched it, well, the video in 17 minutes, but you know the chat. So that was a 17-minute summary of day 2. This is our last day, day 3. Y'all ready? Let's go.
You, in opinion that has been widely cited, made the observation that presidents are not kings. What does that mean, and what are some of the most important bulwarks in our constitutional system against the abuse of executive power, against tyranny?
The Constitution, in its design, puts the legislative authority in Article 1 and gives it to the Congress, the power to make laws. It puts the executive authority in Article 2 and gives it to the president, the power to execute the laws. And it puts the judicial authority, the power to interpret the laws, in Article 3 and gives it to the court. The separation of powers is crucial to liberty. It is what our country is founded on, and it's important, as consistent with my judicial methodology, for each branch to operate within their own sphere. That means for me that judges can't make law. Judges shouldn't be policymakers. That's a part of our constitutional design, and it prevents our government from being too powerful and encroaching on individual liberty.
There is a love in this country that is.
Oh, y'all know Corey is coming to bring all of the love. Look at him. Corey just be so animated all the time. He can't help himself. Day 3, he's still hype.
Extraordinary. You admitted it about your parents. They loved this nation, even though there were laws preventing them from getting together. When they were loving, there were laws in this country that would have prevented you from marrying your husband. It wasn't that long ago. It was last generation.
Corey got sis crying. I told y'all, she is ready. All of those attacks, she didn't budge. She didn't move. But when she gets praised, or when she gets like affirmed, when it is like a feel good, she is very uncomfortable because she doesn't like that emotion. She has no emotions about those senators attacking her. None. She has no emotions for that. But this right here, she can't control it, and she don't like it. She don't like it.
But they didn't stop loving this country, even though this country didn't love them back. Today, you're my star. You are my harbinger of hope. This country is getting better and better and better. And when that final vote happens and you ascend onto the
I know, right, Jack? Like, I'm here for him, you know, uplifting her. She needs it. But I don't I don't want her to be emotional. Like she just, I don't know. I want her to continue to be stoic like she's been. Because you know how I just feel like just politically, they just will find a reason to find fault in her shedding tears right now.
To the highest court in the land, I'm going to rejoice. And I'm going to tell you right now, the greatest country in the world, the United States of America, will be better.
Well, it'll be different. Better is subjective.
Because of you.
Does sentencing have a deterrent component?
Yes, Senator, deterrence is one of the.
Lindsay got to talk every day for 3 days. No, it's too much Lindsay. Can we get Raphael back, please? No. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Purposes of punishment, and Congress has directed courts to consider various means of achieving deterrence. One of them, as you've said, is incarceration. Another, as I tried.
Did y'all see what he just did? This is why this is a performance to me, and this is what's irritating about this job interview. She's responding to something that he asked her. He's sitting there ready to talk. He's not sitting there listening. He don't really care what she says. He's ready to keep talking and cutting her off. Look at him. He was like, psst, and then she kept talking. He wants her to stop talking and stop answering a freaking question that he asked her. Of it all. Saki says, listen, they needed to see that emotion from her because that is the way that they know that she's human. And it bodes well for debunking the myth of the strong Black woman. I hate it. I do. I know, right, Saki? Like, I'm on the fence. I get it. I'm with all of it. You know how they are. I just know that if they find a way to use it against her, they will. That's all I'm saying. Like, did she need that? She did. She needed that release. I'm torn. I'm just torn on it all. No, she needs to show she is human. I again, Foxy, I'm with it, but I'm not. I'm not going to 100% agree with it. You want to think I'm tough? Let me show you I'm tough. I'll be human later, but I'm about to get this job, and y'all not going to stop. I don't know. I'm on the fence. They love to paint us as strong. It's how they deny our feelings of pain. I agree with that. But Lindsay is a moron. Periana. No one cares what he thinks. Well, some of them people do, child. They like Lindsay. They keep voting for him. Not even the people that know him well. Class clown, village idiot. Yes, you are right, Saki, but it's the weaponizing, the human. Yes. That's where I'm at, Jack. Like, I'm like this with it. Like, I can't get on one side or the other. I'm like, ugh. But again, did she need that affirmation? I absolutely think she needed that. I absolutely think she needed it for sure. Because they was whooping her butt 12 hours the day before. All right, let's keep going.
To mention was substantial periods of supervision once the person.
See what I'm saying? Shut up, Lindsay. So she's still talking, Lindsay. So if I'm saying, shut up, Lindsay.
In your view, it's more of a deterrent to have somebody substantially supervised in terms of their computer use who's looking at child pornography than it is to put them in jail.
Senator, I'm not saying it's more or
That's
less.
exactly what you're saying, folks. What she is.
That's exactly what you're
saying. The reason she's always below the recommendation.
This shit right here. I would have got up out my chair. The reason he not even talking to her no more. This is her damn job interview. He done stopped talking to her, and now he got the nerve to be talking to his friends in front of her about her. The fuck? The audacity of the caucasity right here.
I think.
Because what I think fucking... Girl, if you don't calm down, girl.
Is because she doesn't use the enhancements available to her. She takes them off the table. And I think that's a big mistake, Judge.
Look at her. Look at her. Look at her and her superpowerness. She ain't buzzed. She ain't emotional or sensitive, baby. She is calling on her ancestors right now, so she don't get up and knock his ass out. Look at her. She is gathering right now. She is gathering herself in real time, and it is beautiful because she want to go off on him. He's not even talking to her. He's literally talking about her.
I think that every federal judge out there should make it harder for somebody to go on a computer and view this filth. That if you use that venue, which is the venue of choice for all these child pornography cases, that you use it against them.
What we're trying to do is be rational in our dealing with some of the most horrible kinds of behavior. This is what our justice system is about. It's about judges making determinations in meting out penalties to people who have done terrible things.
It is not rational to take the venue of choice of child pornographers, the computer that have 85.
She's over him. Look at her. She's like, let me grab my cup right here because he getting on my damn nerves. She's over him. She's over him. I think we all are.
And images on it and not consider that feeding the beast. We're trying to get people to stop this crap. So when you troll on the internet and you pull down thousands of images of children from the internet, I want you to stop that.
Senator, every person in all of these charts and documents.
Look at him. He's not even listening to her. Why do you ask people questions and then don't listen? It's so disrespectful. Look at the disrespect on your screen right now. He ain't looking at her. He fiddling with a book. He want to tell her what she said. He doesn't take into consideration the width of the guidelines. He just wants to make her the poster child of you should have had stricter and harsher sentences. Look at him. Okay, let me look at the chat because I need to take a break from his voice. Here come Nola, y'all. It kills me. They are questioning her about a job when they refuse to do theirs. Boop. They refuse. In a regular job, they will be fired. They would have been fired, child, and they wouldn't have got rehired. She got the job. This is the formality. But she shouldn't have. I just feel like this, it's just ridiculous. 5 hours, 5.5 hours, day 1. 12 hours, day 2. Almost 11 hours, day 3. A little over 4 hours, day 4. Really? Because this is what you need to do. This right here, you need to perform this hard for the people. That you are disrespectful. You asked her a question. You don't really want her to answer the question. You're not looking at her. You're not making eye contact. You're fiddling with a folder. You ain't listening to nothing she says. You are stuck on a point. You are not worried about her why. You are focused on making sure you are the loudest, most obnoxious voice during this particular time. Because you don't even want to let her finish saying what she got to say. Jack, you are right. This is Psaki speaking. They will weaponize it, but it's no different than them weaponizing her blackness or her womanhood. You see, she's not Hillary Clinton running for president. Child, they got Hillary too. But Hillary, I'm not even going there. Not the one who stood by a man who said he would screw his daughter and just grab women by the P word. Well, yeah, that's different though, Nola. Just that. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl. Lindsay's a hater. He wants her to get angry. That's what I think he wants. And so that part, I'm going to circle back because I get to have different thoughts at different times. So now with this information, I'm going to circle back and say, I am glad Corey did what he did. And I'm going to tell you why, Jack, because it allowed her the space to, yes, be human and to, yes, have emotions, because, yes, he wants her to get angry, to lash out. That's why he's showing her no respect. She was able to hold her composure here, and then she showed the world that I'm a human being too with Corey. Now, was Corey still a little extra? You know, Corey gonna always be Booker. It is what it is, right? But it's nice to have that balance of, we see you, Lindsay. We see what you're trying to do here. Sis ain't falling for that. And she's still a human being on the other side because she shed tears. She was emotional. We saw all of that. And she didn't fall for your shenanigans either. So I think I'm comfortably at my, Corey was doing way much, but she needed it. And I'm glad he did it. That's my final judgment. I'm glad he did it. Just because of that right there. He will be wooing her and her vote once she's confirmed. He knows it. She knows it. It's a dance. Absolutely. 100% agree. 100%. What Lindsay is actually doing is making a show for his audience. Oh, absolutely. They're going to eat this up. They're going to eat this up. The question isn't actually for her. This is why he doesn't care about the answer. It's just a performance. 1,000%. Absolutely agree. Performative. It's all performative. All right, let's keep going. Look at his face. No lie. Get it on the screenshot. Put it on the thumbnail. Look at his face. Okay, I'm sorry. That just made me laugh. His face right there, like, boy.
I sent to jail because I know how serious this crime is. Every person I discussed the harm of these terrible, terrible images to the victims who are portrayed in them. I talked about what this crime does to the children who are being abused in these photos, and on the other side of their terms of imprisonment, I ensured that they were facing lengthy periods of supervision and restrictions on their computer use so they could not do this sort of thing again. That's what Congress has required of judges, and that's what I did in every case.
That's what Congress requires. If Congress doesn't like their requirements, Congress can change the requirements. See? Is that how this works? That's how it works. No, let's see it. Got it. Psyche says, well, I, for one, am happy to see a Black man praising a Black woman. Oh, for sure. Oh, absolutely. Manosphere. Instead of tearing her down. Corey isn't extra, in my opinion. He's just different from what we're used to from politicians. His heart. I agree with that. I'm still going to call him extra, though, because he's extra to me. But yeah, I'm here for Corey. We need that. We need that type of energy as well. So I'm here for the extraness of it all. I had to, think through all of the phases. But yeah, I'm here for Corey for sure. Girl, everybody is an upgrade. Well, not everybody, because Mitch McConnell, but still. Oh, we forgot Raphael. But still, child. But still. All right, let's keep going.
All I can say is that your view of how to deter child pornography is not my view.
Then you should have became a judge, Lindsay. You should have became a judge, Lindsay. You in the wrong field, Lindsay. Oh, wait, what? Congress can change it? Congress can change it? Not the judge? The guidelines are set by Congress, Lindsay. Lindsay, do you hear your contradictory self, sir? Boy.
I think you're doing it wrong, and every judge who does what you're doing is making it easier for the children to be exploited.
Do you think America would be safer or less safe if we release all the detainees at Guantanamo Bay?
Senator, America would be less.
What? Guantanamo Bay is a money grab. Why do we even still have Guantanamo Bay? What's she got to do with Guantanamo Bay, though? Boy. Guess who could get rid of Guantanamo Bay and put those prisoners somewhere else? Mr. Cotton, could you be... What? You could... Don't, girl.
Safe if we don't have terrorists out running around attacking this country. Absolutely. America would also be more safe in a situation in which all of our constitutional rights are protected. This is the way our scheme.
Oh, imagine that. All of the constitutional rights are protected. What? The law, following the law, applying the law, and the constitutionality of all the things. Oh, okay.
Scheme works. This is how the Constitution that we all love operates. It's about making sure that the government is doing what it's supposed to do in a time of crisis. As Justice Gorsuch said, the Constitution is not suspended in times of crisis. The government still has to follow the rules. Certainly in year 1 and year 5, I was still a district judge, and both of those years differed dramatically from my work as an appellate judge, which is where I'm currently stationed. In every job, in year 1, you're new, you're trying to figure things out. I don't know that I had quite pinned down at the very beginning exactly how I would approach cases, but by the time I got to year 5, I think I had a really good sense of this judging thing. And was able to demonstrate in my opinions, the many, many opinions that I've written, the way in which I go about making my decisions. I was able to demonstrate clearly, I think, that the particular parties in the case, the issues in the case, what it's about, from a standpoint of personal preference is not an issue. I'm setting those things aside. I am ruling from a position of neutrality and trying to determine in every case what the law requires.
Okay, I'm gonna pause right there and look at the chats before we go further. Saki says he knows that there are some perpetrators in his own family. He's more than likely on that men. But y'all, let me be quiet. Nola. I could have read that one out loud, Nola. Not his view, but he was in office when these stipulations were put into place. Right. Like Congress can change all of the things. Congress is in charge of that, not the judges. The judges just read the law, interpret the law, and apply the law. They don't make the laws or the guidelines. No one enters a position well positioned. No, you got to learn. It's a learning curve, child. Everything. I'm still trying to make sure my kids I had my first 5 years of teaching are okay. Are they okay? Did they make it out okay? I hope I didn't mess up too bad. Like, what?
Committed, I think my record shows, to the understanding that that is the role and the only appropriate role for a judge. I took up, not too long ago, but took up the fiber arts, as they say, My mother is an expert crochet artist. She makes beautiful pieces of all kinds, and I always wanted to do that. I always wanted to, and she tried to teach me when I was younger, and it didn't quite turn out. But as I have gone along in my career and wanting to have some sort of a creative outlet, and especially in times of high stress, I started pining for something to do to express my creative side. And I bought a book on crochet. I talked to my mom. I started making hats and scarves, and then I moved to knitting during one of my confirmation hearing scenarios, because I needed something to keep my mind off of the stress. So I have a basement full of yarn. If
She
you
crochets.
would like to come over.
You said this was egregious.
Oh, I wasn't ready for Raphael. Nola, I need your energy now. I wasn't ready. I didn't know Raphael was about to come on the screen. Okay, I'm ready now. I'm ready. You ready, Nola? I'm ready. Let's go.
What did you sentence Stewart for? The guidelines said 97, 121 months. Prosecutor said 97 months. You said it's egregious. 6,700 images. You come in at 57
Time
months.
has expired.
Why
Senator,
did you
she's 2
sentence
minutes
him to
over the
just
allotted.
57 months in the Stewart case? Do you want to address that? Because you're claiming it's cherry picking. In fact, you're welcome to explain any of these cases, but let's take the Stewart case. Why
Senator Coons,
did you sentence him for half the amount?
you're not recognized, Senator. Senator
If
Coons.
you don't want her to answer that question?
You
No.
won't allow her any-
Mr. Chairman, she may answer the question.
No.
I've asked her why she
You over your
sentenced Stewart.
time,
Well,
Raphael.
Senator, by 2 minutes.
Why she's
and a half.
because you've interrupted me for 2 minutes.
You over your
Mr. Chairman,
time,
do you want her to answer
Raphael.
the question, or do you not want the American people to hear
Raphael.
why, with someone she described
Raphael.
There comes a point, Senator, where you get a little bit.
Chairman Durbin, will you allow her to answer the question?
No.
You won't allow her to answer.
I will happily allow her to. The question is,
Senator,
why
Thank
did you sentence Stewart, an egregious child pornography possessor,
So,
to
Judge Jackson.
half of the amount
Please, Senator.
requested by the prosecutor?
Please, Senator.
Will you allow her to answer?
So I heard 97. So I think the amount of time that she could have within the guidelines sentence this person was 97 months or 97 years. I couldn't hear it. And instead of the 97 that she could have and what the prosecutor asked for, she sentenced to 51 months or years, whatever it was. And Senator Cruz is unhappy with her decision to not do 97, to only do 51, but the 51 is still within the guidelines. And that's what the anger is about, that she didn't max out the guidelines. She sentenced within those guidelines, and her judgment was 51.
To the question, Chairman Durbin.
Senator Coons.
Why are you not allowing her to answer the question? There's
You're
not
over
another
the time
senator
by
here
2
that
and a
you've
half.
not allowed her to answer the question.
You're finished.
I'm not asking another question, but allow her to answer the question, Chairman Durbin.
Thank you, Chairman.
Why do you not want the American people to know?
This is Raphael's twerk dance. We're going to call this Raphael twerking.
What happened in the Stewart case or any of these cases? Chairman Durbin, I've never seen the chairman refuse to allow a witness to answer a question. You can bang it as loud as you want.
Well, I can just tell you, at some point, you have to follow the rules.
Okay, will you let her answer the question? You've been
No.
interrupting, and by the way, with Senator Graham, it went 10 minutes over. You've
Sure
taken
did.
a big chunk of the time. Will you allow her to answer the question?
No.
You've given her.
Why are you afraid of her? She's welcome to answer it right now. Will you let her?
Senator Coons.
Will you let? So no, you don't want her to answer the question.
Senator Coons.
Will you let her answer the?
The white boys is fighting. They is fighting. The boys is fighting. They is fighting. Girl, listen. Nola, don't tell them that. Don't tell them that. Child, I need Raphael to shut up. He is in violation of his own existence. He's a moron. He is such a self-hating fool. He's not white, but wants to live as a white man. We gonna call him the white. Listen, that's what they gonna be, because he be all up in them. That's what he is. He's such an idiot, self-hate child. I don't even know. He let his wife be demeaned, and he still has a wife. How does that work? I could not stay married to somebody that let somebody, I don't care who they are, just dog me out publicly. Like, you was not about to, that's what divorce court is for. This man is a whole clown. Okay, let's keep going.
The question.
I treated those cases and every case very seriously and imposed a sentence that was sufficient but not greater than necessary to promote the purposes of punishment.
Good.
So this is her methodology. I'm taking notes, y'all, because I'm learning about Ketanji too. I'm learning a little bit more every day. It was necessary, but not, wait, I just messed up. I got to hear that again, y'all. One more time. Wait, I'm sorry. I don't want to get Cruz in there.
Please.
Raphael.
Very seriously and imposed a sentence that was sufficient but not greater than necessary to promote the purpose.
So this is the disparity that we were having in the chat early. It's sufficient. It's sufficient without being overly punitive. Sufficient, which means it falls in the guidelines. It's just not the extreme of the guidelines. So she's able, as her judgment, as her job, to make a decision based on the evidence that was in the court and the guidelines that she has to work within to make a decision. And remember, she comes from a public defender background. I'm sure she's defended people who some people would want to throw under a jail and forget about. But she is but she has defended people that have need somebody to represent them where society would have thrown these people away. So that's how she approaches her work, in my opinion. Sufficient, but not greater than necessary. Okay, that's it. I can't keep remembering. Sufficient, but not greater. So the disparity right here is the greater than necessary. Some people feel like the maximum should be the necessary. And just from her perspective, her work, her background, she doesn't approach her work that way. She approaches it sufficient, but not greater than. It's not punitive. It's not exaggerated. I'm not here to just act like human beings aren't human beings and won't make mistakes. We hope to rehabilitate human beings, but everybody does not believe that. Everybody does not believe in rehabilitation. Everybody does not, and the system is honestly not set up for that, but that's a whole nother story. Ted Cruz fact. Wait, I wasn't ready for this. Okay, wait. Let me read Saki. Ted Cruz fact. His pappy's name is Rafael Benevito Cruz y Diaz. So yeah, not white. Sorry, not sorry. I'm with you, Saki. I'm just gonna put him in that category because he be out here with them acting like he wanted them, and they really don't care. That's why he be out here performing like that, because he needs to stay in their good graces. Everybody know who Raphael is. Everybody know. Is that where you got the name from, Nola? The Raphael? He Raphael Jr. The guidelines, them dummies said, right, you set the guidelines. If you wanted a harsher, greater punishment, start at 70, start at 80, start at 97, right? Like, why did you make it so? And if you would have made it that way, then that's what she would have had to do. Don't give the judge the option to have that much wiggle room. Said that there are other white judges completely ignore and let murder go unpunished. Where is that outrage? I'll wait because I have time today. Child. Yes, he is Raphael Jr. Yes, he is, child. Yes, he is. And he want to beat him so bad. So I'm just gonna let him like, you want to be them? Okay, you can be them. Because otherwise, I feel like if he was a white man, he probably wouldn't have to be so extra performative. But he wants to be in their good graces, so he brings all of his extra, so he can be one of the boys that comes to the yard. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and Cruz is better than y'all's. Cruz is better than y'all's. I'm just saying. Okay, focus.
This is a punishment.
Judge, you gave him 3 months. My question is, do you regret it or not?
Senator, what I regret is that in a hearing about my qualifications to be a justice on the Supreme Court, we've spent a lot of time focusing on this small subset of my sentences, and I've tried to explain.
You regret that
many
we're focusing on
times-
your cases? I don't understand.
No. I'm talking about the fact that you're talking about
Child pornography
7
cases.
very serious cases.
I'm glad we agree on that. Don't you think?
Some of which.
Let her talk, Josh. Let her talk. Josh, can you hear me right now, Josh? I know this is pre-recorded. It's already been recorded, but I need you to hear me right now. Just let her talk. All of this cutting her off is just so disrespectful. She can't even get the thoughts out of her brain. I hate when people act like this.
Some of which involve conduct that I sentence people to 25, 30 years.
3 months in this case, Judge. Do you regret it?
He still won't let her finish her freaking thought, Josh.
Haven't answered my question yet.
Senator,
do you regret the sentence?
Senator, I would have to look at the circumstances. What I'm telling you.
You know the circumstances. We discussed it for half an hour yesterday. There's a 55-page transcript.
Look at her. Look at her. She is mad. She is frustrated. She is angry. She can't even finish a sentence. I bet you she want to throw that notepad and that pen upside his head along with that bottle of water sitting right there. Let the woman finish speaking.
I'm sure you've read. You lived it. As you've emphasized to this committee over and over, you've lived it, right? You said that you've been through all of this. You've looked at all of the images. You're the one who's had to endure all of it. You gave him a 3-month sentence. I just wonder if you regret it or if you stand by it.
When one of my teachers discouraged me from applying to MIT because they didn't want me to be disappointed.
Y'all know she don't like the emotionals. She don't like the emotionals.
Turned that discouragement into motivation.
She needed it though.
Judge Jackson, I know that you too have been doubted on your way to the seat that you find yourself in today. Even over the last 3 days of this hearing, your experience and qualifications have been called into question by some, despite your clear, lengthy record of talent, achievement, and accomplishment. So I want to end my time today by asking you this question. On behalf of the young people I visited with last Friday in South San Francisco, and for the many others across the country who are watching this confirmation hearing today, what would you say, Judge Jackson, to all those young Americans, the most diverse generation in our nation's history? What do you say to some of them who may doubt that they can one day achieve the same great heights that you have?
I hope to inspire people to try to follow this path because I love this country, because I love the law, because I think it is important that we all invest in our future. And the young people are the future. And so I want them to know that they can do and be
anything. And I'll just say that I will tell them what an anonymous person said to me once. I was walking through Harvard Yard my freshman year. As I mentioned, I went to public school, and I didn't know anything about Harvard until my debate coach took me there to enter a speech competition. And I thought, this is a great university. It was basically one of the only ones I'd seen. And I said, maybe I'll apply when I'm a senior. But I get there and whoa, so different. I'm from Miami, Florida. Boston is very cold. It was rough. It was different from anything I'd known. There were lots of students there who were prep school kids like my husband, who knew all about Harvard, and that was not me. And I think the first semester I was really homesick. I was really questioning, do I belong here? Can I make it in this environment? And I was walking through the yard in the evening, and a Black woman I did not know was passing me on the sidewalk. And she looked at me, and I guess she knew how I was feeling. And she leaned over as we crossed and said, persevere. I would tell them to persevere.
Yay. So that is day 3. Everybody, Saki had a message that I think is so appropriate. She was prepared for this. Wait, let me switch the screen. She was prepared for this. We were not. That's the reason that we are so bothered by how they are treating her. She knew that this was coming, and she's prepared for it. She can bash them all later. Yes, Ketanji. All right. There's no video that I'm going to show you for this. I just wanted you to see what day 4 looked like in general. So on day 4, there were 4 hours and 12 minutes of the recording. Absolutely not playing none of that. And there's no summary. She didn't speak on day 4. Day 4 says the Senate Judiciary Committee will hold its final day of Supreme Court confirmation hearings for Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson on March 24th. After 3 days of testimony from Jackson and questions from senators, the committee will hear from professional and personal witnesses who can speak to Jackson's work and her character. Jackson was nominated by, we know all of that. So that's what day 4 was about. Day 4 was not her. It was people who can speak to the work that she's done, people that know her and or people who are in that field and can address probably some of the questions that all of these senators have about the decisions that she made within the guidelines that they were given. And that is it, you guys. This, first of all, I wanted to mention this. She got sister locks. Shout out to the sister locks. Number 2, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but on her watch hand, I think sis had a whole scrunchie on her wrist so that when this was over, she could pull that hair up and keep it moving. I think that's what she had on her wrist. I was just sitting there looking at the scrunchie like, I don't know if anybody else caught it, but I was like, she got a scrunchie on her wrist? Girl, I see you, girl. I be having scrunchies on my wrist too. All right, you guys. That is it. This is the honorable. Oh, wait, let me lower this down and let me lower my. I am so glad you guys joined me today. This was so awesome. It was so amazing. The chat was everything. Agree, disagree. I thank you guys for being respectful, for having conversation. it was just good. I just feel good. And I was so nervous about doing it that I wasn't going to do it until I was like, I could do it later next week. No, girl, you said you was doing it today. Do it today. And so here we are. And this is the longest live I think I've ever done. I think so. It's almost 3 hours. So thank you guys. If you stayed for a minute, if you stayed for the entire live, I appreciate you. I love you as always, as always, as always. You could have been anywhere and you chose to tune in to your girl Organized Chaos today. And for that alone, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am honored. And yeah, have a good rest of your day. I will see some of y'all out here in these YouTube streets in a little bit. Other than that, I don't know when I'll be back, but I will because I got time this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This was awesome. I love you. Mwah. Bye, guys.